Welcome back to Game-Based Learning in the World Language Classroom, the why, what, and how. We're on section 3 of my book, The How. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I love to talk about games. Come talk to me at the Minecraft Education Ambassadors or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, the Duolingo Educators Network, Roxem. We're going to talk about Roxem today, talk about Minecraft today, or at studio-nemo.com. We are leveraging online games for the class. And again, I don't like my students to be sitting behind the computer screen unless they're communicating with each other at the same time. So when we're playing Blue Kit, my students are yelling at each other in the target language. How could you do that to me? You're so mean. Sorry, not sorry. They're using the target language on each other. When we're playing Minecraft, I'm going to talk about Minecraft right now, they're talking to each other so that they can win the game, okay? Everything else is homework, all right? If I'm Duolingo, I assign as homework every day. When I was assigning Quizlet, it's homework. Everything else is conversation. We're leveraging the games during class. So Minecraft, I talk extensively about Minecraft on my playlist about how I use Minecraft education. And so I'm just going to tell you, go look at that. And I'll talk a little bit about Minecraft this time, but go look at the Minecraft list if you're interested. And I'm so excited because I had the best final exam ever. And that's the very next video I'm going to make is about that. Pixie, I love Pixie. It's being neglected right now, but it's still very solid and very usable, especially if you want to make audiolingual skits. This is a listening conversation game, and it was originally spun off of Fluent Key. You could build conversations. Your students listen to those conversations, and then they play listening games to put the sentences in order, basically. And there's also a straight pronunciation game. So back before Duolingo's pronunciation software was very good, Pixie was really the place to go. And I really love Pixie because it filled this empty hole during the pandemic. It was like, how am I going to get my students to talk? How am I going to get my students to they were listening to me when they came to the online class, but really that talking piece was missing. And Pixie came out just before school started, and I was like, thank you, Hugo. Hugo's the inventor. You really saved my bacon. So I do love Pixie, and I still use it a lot to this day. So here's an example of the skit. Okay, you're going to make the skit. You're going to name the characters and everything, and there's plenty of skits up there already. If you teach French, Spanish, or Japanese, I did 95% of the skits already up there, but yeah, you can still make your own. Okay, so you make the skit, and if you scroll down, you'd see more of it. And then, this was part of my final exam. I was so proud of this. I needed the students to hear airport announcements in the background. So I have the white zone and the red zone and the airport announcements. But yeah, that was great. Then the reason that Hugo's neglecting Pixie is because he started Roxem, and Roxem is really wonderful. And I talked about Roxem in our video on music games. But again, just a recap, it's a music listening app. So you choose a song, and you can play one of 2 games, whole class, or I think there's 3 games now individually. Plus there's a learn the song mode, and I really love the learn the song mode. It's really great. It's just flashcards. It has generated flashcards for you about all the lyrics of the song. And music is repetitious, and I'm using a lot of music in my classes now. So this is a great website. Check them out. Come see me on their Facebook page. Conjugamos is pretty fun. You do need to pay if you want lots of possibilities, but you could do 5 sets for free. So either rotate them out or pay for the whole thing because it's pretty fun. It's got a lot of different games. Okay, students can challenge each other on some of the games. Like there's a battleship game in Connect 4. They're challenging each other. Some of these, like the crossword, the word search, or memory, those are single player. Tug of Walrus is a multiplayer. So my student's favorite is Splatman. I'm going to suggest Splatman. I'll show you a screenshot of that. Or Dia de los Verbos is really good. You can, like, I've got French decks up there. I don't know, they don't call them decks, but I've got French sets up there, even though it's Dia de los Berros. The skin is that you're a frog and you're trying to eat the correct calavera before it drops down. But, it works fine for French also. And I don't think they had, yeah, they don't have a Japanese option yet. But here's Splatman, which is really fun. And again, I used that exact same deck as I was experimenting with this, that same deck that I made for Quizlet, where I'm just like, here's the top 50 verbs, guys. So here they see the clue at the bottom, and then they have to type it in. So it's got to be English to Spanish or English to French or English to whatever language you're teaching. The frog is going to hop across, but these things are falling down on top of him. So if you type in a weird rhythm, or you don't type the next letter fast enough, or you forget your accent on a letter and you got to go back and put that accent on, this thing could hit you on the head. So I do like this a lot. All right, so let's talk about Pixton next, and I will just put my Pixton lecture next in this flip chart, but because they asked me to come to a conference, that then the pandemic happened, and so I wasn't able to go to the conference. So I just filmed what I was going to say, and gave that to them. So I've got that film, and I'll put that up here. This is a storyboarding, not really game. It's an app, and I used it extensively during the pandemic because I didn't have my students in front of me. But I haven't really used it that much after the pandemic. One thing is they started charging. Originally they were free. And frankly, it's quicker for me to have my students grab the markers and the colored pencils and a sheet of paper and to do their drawing on paper than it is to say, get out your computers, search through and find the figures that you want. And frankly, they were talking to each other in English while they were doing that, and I didn't like that. So, but Pixton's pretty fun. Basically, I have a bunch of exemplars where I ask questions to my students, and then they have to make a comic answering those questions. And then I did some other fun stuff with it, which is in that thing that I will link next. All right, just to get your creative juices flowing. Roblox. There's a lot of people who make a game in Roblox, and they have to choose the right path, following a verb conjugation or some such rule. I haven't played around with it because, look, it's blocked on my school computer. And I would love to play Fortnite in the classroom because the students love Fortnite, but my school district blocks it. So I'm fighting with the school district to unblock these things. But keep in mind that if you're able to get to these, you can use them in the language classroom. This is project-based learning, okay? So just to get your creative juices flowing. Certainly mine are. I was going to talk extensively about Flip, but never mind, because yesterday I was in a Minecraft meeting and they said, what do you think about Flip? And I was like, what? What's going on? Yeah, they're shutting this section down, and yeah, never mind this. I'm not even going to show you that, because they're shutting this section down and they're wrapping it into teams, and I don't know what that's going to look like. So never mind whatever I was going to say. Hopefully they'll keep it. I'll talk about it at some other episode. All right. Minecraft, you know what? I talk about escape rooms in my other playlist with Minecraft, and I love making escape rooms, and there's other things I love doing in Minecraft, which I'll talk about more in the Minecraft channel, and I'll link to them here. But let's just go on. So I'm looking at the time. You could make a choose your own adventure with Microsoft Forms or Google Forms. So here's an example. Where here's the question I had, and then any one of these answers could be correct. But then what you have to do is you have to add branching, okay? And the branching is what's going to take them to a different thing. All right, and this was a lot of work. And I decided I like doing it in Minecraft better. I'm experimenting with having the students talk to NPCs. I just like Minecraft feels so immersive, even though it's this really blocky game. I find that really hysterical. But yeah, so I don't do this on Microsoft Forms anymore, but know that it's a possibility if you're interested in doing that. Okay, there's other crazy things you can do. It does not have to be a language app. Find something authentic. This is your realia. I'm looking, it's 10 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm going to go over by 2 minutes. Okay. So one year in my Japanese class, we played Hatofuru Kareshi, which is the craziest game ever. This is a dating sim. It's a post-apocalyptic world. You're the last human left in the world, and there's nothing but pigeons and hawks, and there's just birds ruling the world. And you decide, I want to be a productive member of society, even though I'm the last human. So you enroll in school, and all your friends are birds. And this is the only dating sim I have ever seen with a boss battle, and it is just weird, but it was great. And I just projected it on the board, and I'm like, okay, guys, what do we do next? And then I could walk them through all the grammar and everything, and it was super fun. Animal Crossing Dobutsu no Mori is wonderful because everything is so repetitive. You get this certain animal type, and back in the day, nowadays I'd probably choose something else, but back in the day, everyone was playing this, and everyone knew that when they saw the sporty type, they were going to have these kinds of sentences. Okay, so it was really good for that comprehensible input. And also, there was an island that I could send my students to, and the island would have people from all over the world on it, so my students could talk to people in other languages, and I just love that. The whole world was so connected, and I thought that was just amazing. So keep an eye out for games that are going to be culturally appropriate for your language. Like I'm trying to wrangle Assassin's Creed for my French students because that's made in Quebec, and it's got the fake uh Cathedral Notre Dame. So find something culturally appropriate, or find something that all your students love, like Fortnite or Roblox or something, whatever you can get into. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is Redshift, and I'm really super impressed with this. This is made by, I'm sorry, I'm way over time. Maria makes this, and she is a wonderful person, very smart. Yeah, this is a great game. It's too advanced for my Spanish 1 students. I teach all the levels of Japanese. I teach all the levels of French. I only teach Spanish 1. We have 4 Spanish teachers in the district. So I only get the Spanish 1 students. This is just too complex for them, but I did talk to her about her ideas for hopefully someday she's going to have some games out for first year students and everything. But these are really nice project-based games, and you basically get to interact with the characters and answer their questions and everything. But they are just one-person games, and I like all my students to be working together like I do with Minecraft. But this is certainly something for you to think about. And then last thing I want to talk about is if your students code at all, and I hope they do, they could make you games. So way back in the day, Duolingo used to have forums where we could talk to people from all over the world, and I was kind of helping to moderate the educators forum, and I would be very present in the Japanese forum to answer questions of people trying to learn Japanese, and I'm very present in the French forum, people trying to learn French and everything. At one point, I was talking to someone, and she's quite young. I don't, there's a forum. I don't know who she was. I don't know how old she was, but she sounded quite young. And she had gone to this place called Polytripper, and she had made her own little game, and then she was sharing it on the forums, and I was very impressed with it. And I was giving her some feedback of, okay, this to make it better game, do this, but she did this all herself, and she said it was very easy. So if your students, in this game, she had the pronoun here, and then she gave you a verb, and then you had to type in what the conjugation would be, and then the bird would hop along until it got to the nest, and it was really cute. And if your students know their way around a computer, I'll bet that they could do something similar. Maybe not with Polytripper, maybe with any of the millions of game development things. You've got your budding programmers, and you want them to work on their grammar skills, right? And you want them to make things for the rest of your class to make life easier on you, right? I'll bet you could enlist their aid. So that's just my last suggestion for this. Okay, so in our next episode, and again, I'm sorry for going over, in our next episode, I'm going to talk more about the new things that Duolingo has updated. All right, since I'm woefully out of date with the Look No Feather channel. So hope to see you there.